What's going on YouTube? It's me, First Review, back in here with another video today. Today, I got something that I just tried for the first time sometime this month or last month, within the last 30 days, and I think it's one of my favorite things to get now, and that is fish and chips. I went back to Heritage Fish and Chips and got me another round of fish and chips because, honestly, I'm just thinking about how good it tasted that time I got it, and I can't get it out of my brain, so now I'm getting it again. So excited to try this again. Give a thumbs up for this one. Look at that. Beautiful. Can't wait to have this again. And as always, guys, remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. Leave a comment down below of anything you want me to try, anything you want me to talk about. I'm down to do that. And as always, timestamps in the description. You guys don't understand how happy I am to have this like new kind of mini setup because I'm so comfortable eating now. I don't feel so uncomfortable like I used to when I was making the other videos with like the little table and the chair that I had to bring over every time. I feel so comfortable. This feels so nice. I got the tartar sauce in there too, you know? All right. Oh, this thing's gonna, okay, well. First bite is batter. Let's do it. So good. Oh, this is hot. Woo. Hot, hot, hot. Oh my God. This is so hot I can't even hold it. Let's give that a second to cool down and talk about what this video is today. So this video is about the movie Beau Is Afraid. So for those who don't know, Beau Is Afraid is a new movie by Ari Aster. And for those who also don't know, Ari Aster is the guy who made Hereditary and Midsommar. Both of which are incredible movies, and both of which are like are classics, modern day classics. Maybe not Midsommar, but I genuinely consider Hereditary to be a modern day classic. I'm such a messy eater, Jesus. There's just so many good things about Hereditary that I love, and there's like nothing I really dislike about it. From the story, the deeper meaning, conceptually, the acting, everything was so good about it. It's so good to the point where when people tell me they don't like Hereditary, I'm just like, why? Ari Aster is definitely gearing up to be one of the greats, and maybe he already is, but I thought Hereditary was incredible and Midsommar. So naturally, when I this, I had high expectations, right? I'm gonna start off by saying I like the movie. I really like the movie, actually. It's confusing me a lot because I'm seeing the movie is not doing too well in terms of rating. And I don't know if it's because of the runtime. I don't know if it's because maybe people didn't get it or maybe people didn't like it or like what the case may be, but in my opinion, the movie's not for everyone, but it's definitely not a bad movie. It's definitely not worth like a 6 out of 10. Or even a 7 out of 10. It's definitely worth higher. But what I'm seeing is people giving pretty negative reviews. From what I'm seeing about the movie, I'm seeing so many things. Some people are just like, it's not for me. The first half was really good. The second half, they fell off. Da-da-da, yada yada, this, and that, right? But I also see people saying that the movie has like a lot of themes and things like that they just didn't catch, so they didn't really like it. It's not for them. Too much to explore. I see people saying it's not enough. People just being like, there wasn't too many metaphors. It wasn't deep enough. Some of the issues that Beau's was having, very on the nose, one-dimensional. And to me, I don't see the movie like that at all. All the major movie critics I see talking about the movie, like on TikTok and stuff like that, they all don't like it except for like one person. I don't even know who the one person is. I can definitely see where the disconnect in the movie comes from because the movie is long. It is very bloated, and I felt like they could have done exactly what they needed to do in like not an hour less, but probably like 30 minutes less. The movie does feel long at some point, but I like it. I feel like it had like a story to tell, And like basically the movie is about Beau or Joaquin Phoenix living in wherever he lives, which is like a really disgusting rundown place full of crime. He has to go see his mom because his mom died. And he just goes on this journey trying to get to his mom, going through like all these stages of grief and facing a bunch of his fears because he's afraid of so many things. So that's basically what this movie is. Instead of overcoming the fear, he kind of lives in it and runs away from it. I thought there were so many good things about the movie. I like the story. I like how it was shot. I think the way it was shot was really well. And also the acting was so good. I can't remember the name of like the mom, but she does a really good job. Joaquin Phoenix always does an incredible job. Right? I just thought the movie was so good. We're getting into spoilers now. The movie gave me very Truman Show-esque vibes. So since Beau was a little kid, his life has been like orchestrated by his mom. His mom set everything up since he was a kid. From the people he's met, to the things he's done, to the place he lives, to the food he eats, it is being controlled by his mother. And a good example of this is at the end of the movie when it gets unveiled. It shows that everything that Beau does in his life was from his mom, from the place he lives. The place he lives is built by his mom. The workers, everyone in his life. For example, there's a part where Beau gets hit by a car. He gets stabbed and he gets hit by a car and he wakes up in these people's house. The people are a doctor and one of them is like a lady at a company. They both work for his mom and they're only there to lead Beau in the direction to his mom. So basically the mom is just, it's so hard to explain because there's so much going on with the movie. Essentially, the mom wants to see if Beau would make the right decision, if he wouldn't be selfish. So Beau is faced with a bunch of decisions. Is he gonna go see his mom? No, he doesn't end up going to see his mom. He gets hit by a car, ends up in the family's house. Oh, Beau, do you want to go tonight to see your mom or do you want to go tomorrow morning? Beau doesn't choose at all. And all these things are being watched and scrutinized by an audience. And the audience are people watching Beau's show, watching Beau's life like a show, kind of like the Truman Show. But it seems like Beau's life is predetermined. Because when he's in that family's house, the ones who are taking care of him after he got hit by a car, the mom, Grace, tells him not to incriminate himself and tells him to go to a channel. When he goes to that channel on the TV, it shows Beau's life from the past to the future. But how much of this is really real? Because Beau takes medication for whatever anxiety or whatever stress or whatever condition he has. However, the medication he takes is given to him by his mom. The food he eats, the frozen food he eats, created by his mom. When he goes to those people's house, the doctor's house, and they give him pills, created by the mom. So at what point is Beau's life really at his free will? Also, what part of it is actually real? Because a lot of stuff Beau hallucinates, and it's really easy to interpret a lot of the things he goes through as hallucinations. But you know, to some degree, everything in his life is being orchestrated by my mom. The only thing that I believe wasn't orchestrated by the mom was his decision to come to her like with a plane ticket. But here's a part when Beau goes to his mom's house and he looks at a picture of his mom, but the picture is made up of other people's faces. All those people are people in the movie, right, who are around him. Everyone's being paid to orchestrate Beau's life. That's kind of like a test to see how he is, a test to see how he'll treat his mother, a test to not be selfish, I guess, in a sense. And I thought it was really good. I thought there was a lot of metaphors. I thought there was a lot of hidden gems. For example, at the end of the movie, when Beau's like standing on the boat and it flips over, and he dies, everyone's sitting there watching him kind of in like a stadium, like Gladiator. And then people get up and slowly start to leave one by one. Or not one by one, but in like little groups. And that reminds me of like a movie theater. You know, they're watching Beau's life just like how we watch Beau's life. And as the movie's ending and people are getting up, it's the same thing in the theater. Everyone sees Beau as this like selfish or bad person who maybe uses people. I'm not entirely sure, but the only person who didn't was Grace until her daughter killed herself. And she's like, I see you for you, or I see exactly what you are. So at first she gave Beau the benefit of the doubt, but after her daughter died, she wanted to think the same thing of him that everyone else did and didn't give him the benefit of the doubt anymore. And then Beau goes into the forest, but I feel like the forest is the only place that mom didn't have control over, because those people were like nomads living in the forest. And they're only tracked by that ankle monitor. And that's where a bunch of people died. And there's a lot of symbolism. But the thing about the movie is that a lot of it's up to interpretation. Like at the end of the movie, when he goes up the attic and he sees an old man, and the mom's like, that's your father, but it looks identical to Beau, so it could have just been Beau. And then there's a giant penis up there. Like a huge like monster penis that starts fighting Grace's brother or nephew or whatever it is, because he was in the army. And there's a lot of meaning that can be pulled from this. Like, for example, since Beau was a kid, his mom told him that if he had sex, he'd die, essentially, because his dad had sex when he died, and his dad's dad had sex when he died. So Beau never had sex his whole life because he was afraid of that until he finds the one. And being locked in the attic and seeing a giant penis, there's kind of like, can kind of be interpreted as like his mom locking away his manhood, or like keeping him down. And even the twin of himself, it could be like how he interprets how he would have seen himself if he stayed with the mom maybe and didn't leave and stayed with her, because apparently the mom is like this all-powerful person and could control his life. So, and a lot of times in the beginning of the movie there were like pictures on the wall or drawings on the walls in his apartment, and a lot of that stuff I feel like kind of foreshadows to the future of the movie, or the later on in the movie, because in the ending of the movie, Beau has sex with Elaine, which is like the girl he had a crush on who's waiting for all his life, and she dies after he has sex with her, after they both like, you know, finish. And there's a drawing on the wall, and the wall says like something about dying while having sex, and it's very clearly strongly alluding to that. And it's crazy to me because I feel like Beau isn't crazy, or as crazy as people say, because in the movie the therapist who he's talking to at the beginning of the movie is being paid by the mom to show her everything he says. And in those therapy sessions, he says that anytime he's happy, his mom comes and takes it away. His mom like wants to rip happiness out of him. She doesn't want him to be happy. And then the mom's like, oh, is this how you feel? This is how you feel? All I did was give you love. But in that exact moment where Beau is saying that, it exemplifies exactly what he's saying. Because he just found Elaine, which is a time where he's happy. He's never been happier. He finally got what he's been waiting for all 50, 40 years of his life. And the mom comes and ruins it by what I can only assume is killing Elaine somehow, because they were ready for her to die. It's like life is so expendable. Even the life of her kid is expendable. It's like being put on trial or judgment. And it's like everyone in that circle can be paid off or can be thrown away at a whim. And it's crazy. There's so many things about this movie. There's so many details about this movie, and I can't get them all out because the movie's 3 hours long, and it's really hard to grasp and really hard to set on, because the movie is really good in my opinion. Even like though I'm missing stuff, knowing that I'm missing stuff is what makes the movie so much better to me. And seeing that the movie was so self-indulgent and so long, I didn't mind it at all. I was not once sitting there being like, oh, is this movie almost done? I hate this movie. Is it almost done? No, never once was I like that. So it's not as good as Midsommar. It's not good as Hereditary. I'll give it an 8.5. Because this, I'll give you 8.5. Midsommar, I'd give a 9. And Hereditary, I'd give like a 9.5 or 10. Probably leaning closer to a 10. I think it depends on how you rate it. If you're rating on a horror movie, 10. If you're rating a movie in general, it's probably like a 9.5. But I'd still give it a 10 anyways. People are saying, will this kill Ari Aster's career? And I don't see what's so bad about the movie, the way other people see it. And I kind of wish I did, because I'm thinking that maybe I'm the crazy one for thinking it's pretty good. And the movie's very contradictory, because it's just like, oh, Beau, you live in this place and there's a whole bunch of homeless people outside and you don't open your door to them. You treat them this, you treat them that way. You talk about how you want to save people, but you don't actually do it. And it's like these people are put into this situation. Like, it's not even like they're actually there. They're just being paid to be there. These people are actual, like the mom's actually a psychopath, which is so crazy to me. But I love the movie. I wish it was critically acclaimed so that people could share in the love with me, because I feel like I'm one of the few people who genuinely likes the movie and genuinely thinks it's a great movie, or one of the better movies of this year. But maybe people need to sit on it. Maybe I need to sit on it. I guess we'll see. So again, that was Heritage Fish and Chips. Delicious, amazing, as usual. And that was my thoughts on Beau Is Afraid. It's probably not all my thoughts. That was just me like riffing about it, because I like giving my thoughts on movies when it's more raw, instead of scripted and being all like robotic and things like that. Because I feel like if I can go straight off the top of my head like that, it's how I'm truly feeling, and I don't have time to change or think of, like, I don't have time to change like how I actually feel about the movie. But I don't know if it makes sense to anyone. It makes sense to me. But remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, leave a comment down below if anything you want to try, anything you want to talk about. I'm down to do that as always. Of course, check out the suggested videos on the side. And yeah, that was Heritage Fish and Chips, 9 out of 10. Beau Is Afraid, 8.5 out of 10. Peace!